Yo, these guys are literally based off of skin color.
For those that don't know, the Supreme Court ruled Monday for the Trump administration and agreed U.S. immigration agents may stop and detain anyone they suspect in the U.S. illegally based on little more than working at a gas station, at a restaurant, at a car wash, speaking Spanish, or having brown skin. That is all they need. If you speak Spanish or have brown skin, you are in danger. My family's in danger. And we have to step up. We have to be the change. We have to spread the word. Make sure to keep your family as safe as you can. Let them be informed. And that's the best that we can do. But, yep, the Supreme Court ruled this on Monday for the Trump administration.
Today, the Supreme Court decided that ICE can profile people based on race, ethnicity, and speaking Spanish. I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version in case you haven't been following this story. Essentially, back in July, an LA judge decided that the ICE raids had to stop because there was a, quote, mountain of evidence that they were violating people's constitutional rights by rounding people up and detaining them simply for being brown and speaking Spanish. So today, the higher court, the Supreme Court, blocked that lower court decision, which means the ICE raids will amplify again. I need you to understand that the reason an officer can't just say you looked at them funny and then throw you behind in jail is because the Fourth Amendment protects you against unreasonable searches and seizures. This applies to citizens and non-citizens. Hopefully I don't have to explain why it is both a constitutional crisis and an attack on democracy if this amendment is not being respected. The checks and balances are no longer in the room with us. The Supreme Court is fully doing the bidding of the executive branch.
Hi guys, welcome to yet another video. It's Ndagre here. Thanks for clicking on today's video. So this video is really kind of sad, and I would say it's a bad time to be a Latina in America. It's always been a bad time, a bad day to be a black person in America. But hey, Latinos, whatever they did to the administration, whatever they did to the president, whatever they did, it is coming back to harm them. Because tell me why they are now allowing ICE or police to just look at you as, a brown person, come to you without, you doing anything suspicious, even being at your job, and having the power to actually arrest you because you are Latino, you're Spanish, or, you're from that, or you're brown, literally. That is wild. Imagine being at work and you're arrested because, you are a specific kind of a race, and you're just seen as a suspect, which it is really disturbing. This is where America is today, the nation that portrays itself as full of democracy and, land of opportunities, land of the free. That does not look like free to me, because if you're just going to look at someone because they are brown and immediately assume they are illegal, they are criminals, I'm sorry, that is not democracy, and there is no freedom that you can come and claim that you have.
The same Supreme Court
as
that
America,
says schools can't consider race when determining admissions
listen to what people are saying about the ruling of the Supreme Court, allowing ICE to target people for who they look like. Yeah, come back and let me know thoughts on it.
Other than white, be careful.
Look, I'm not sure why you all are always so shocked when a discriminatory or racist law is passed or upheld in this country. I'm not going to even hold you. They used to eat us. Do you hear me? They wore our teeth as dentures. I don't understand where the shock comes from. There had to be a law put in place to say, hey, you can't own people. Do you hear what I'm saying? There was a war started because people wanted to own people in this country. There's no shock value left for us. We told you all. And the Supreme Court, 6-3, has said, yes, ICE can racially profile people. They can pull you over for no reason as long as you are Latino. That is not shocking. We have told you all that for years. Do you remember stop and frisk? Is anybody having a memory lapse? What's going on? That man, that walking piece of stomach bile is only magnifying, letting you see under the microscope what we've been told you. This country is racist. From the way that we had to cover our hair up to the reason why they just built entire highways through our doggone neighborhoods. The whole thing, racist.
The Supreme Court's ruling today is horrifying. Folks, the Supreme Court essentially gave ICE and the Trump administration full passage to racially profile the Latin American community in order to detain and apprehend them. Gave ICE the full passage to simply apprehend someone based off of the language that they speak and the color of their skin. Folks, this is the same Supreme Court that just a few months back told colleges that it was not okay in their admissions process to take race into account. But it's okay for them to take race into account as it relates to ICE and racially profiling. This is the state of our country right now. This is no different than what the Germans were doing to the Jews in World War II. And folks, that's not hyperbole. That's not fear-mongering. That is the current situation of this nation right now. The Supreme Court is compromised. Period. Point blank. And I am no longer living under this notion that it is not a part of all the other political branches within our government. It's compromised, and God help us all.
Well, my Hispanic brothers and sisters, we had a long run, but I think it's time we pack our bags and move to Canada because these ICE raids, they're about to get worse. They finna start catching us all like if we're Pokemon. So yesterday, the Supreme Court lifted a lower court restraining order that prohibited ICE agents from arresting you or detaining you if you either look Hispanic, couldn't speak English, or just because of your job. What this means is that now ICE agents, if they see you either look Hispanic, can't speak English, or just because of your job, they can detain you or arrest you for 3 days until they prove that you're actually a citizen.
Are we dead ass?
Hey, I might have to hit up Drewski's makeup artist to make me fully white, and I'm gonna start wearing overalls, and I'm gonna start talking in that country accent, because what do you mean you can arrest me or detain me just because of the fact I look Hispanic? So now we just racially profiling motherfuckers? Imagine I'm just walking down the street to go to the gas station to get a snack, and some ICE agent just looks at me, and it's like, look at that little Mexican boy. I bet he's one of them damn illegals. And then they pull up on me, and they take me away. Any shit I can do, bruh. I can't do anything. I'm just be like, sir, yes, sir. And then they take me, bruh. I can't even sue them. Yeah, prayers up to all my Hispanic people. This is messed up. Nah, this is fucked up. And you know what's crazy? Is the fact that the Supreme Court approved of this. The highest court in the government approved this, bro. Crazy. Absolutely outrageous.
So a decision was made yesterday by the Supreme Court, approved by Donald Trump and company, that if you are a non-white man and you speak with a different dialect, have a different accent, speak with a little twang, they are liable to lock you up and place you in holding for a few days while they check your citizenship. If you happen to be a legal citizen, you get let go. Problem is, most jobs, if you go no contact with your job and you don't report that you went, took a break, got locked up, whatever the case may be, they are liable to fire you. So this is by design to not only try to get rid of people of color from this country, but to screw the people of color who are left in this country. And you guys said that ICE and Trump and all that is not about race. And y'all keep mentioning Obama, like leftists keep mentioning Obama for some weird reason. I don't know why. Because Obama wasn't doing this. Biden wasn't doing this. This is racism. Don't matter if you're Asian, Mexican, Pacific Islander, Haitian, Jamaican, don't matter. You speak with an accent and you ain't white, you're screwed. Mind you, this is what he's able to pull off the first 10 months in his second term as president. We didn't even hit the halfway marker yet. So I hope everybody who voted for him and didn't vote at all or voted third party, I hope y'all got what y'all wanted.
Supreme Court just ruled that ICE can now target people based on their skin color, their language, and their race. That seems unconstitutional. So they're finally saying the quiet part out loud. It was never about legality. It was always based on how can I inscribe law on particular groups based on their race and say they criminal. That's the reason why they was going after folks with Latino backgrounds, because y'all all had bought into the hypercriminality of that group. They already had manufactured and coerced y'all and believe in black folks as hypercriminal. That's the reason why he can justify going into areas that's predominantly black. So if the Supreme Court said that ICE can target people based on their race, and Trump said ICE helping them break down on crime, and I can go after the community that's seen as inherently being criminal and put ICE on them. Listen, man, they had put record high numbers in funding when it come to ICE. I'm talking about they the most funded law enforcement in American history. Y'all didn't think they was going to put that law enforcement funding on people they believe should be inherently policed? Man, education is elevation. You better pay attention. You better pay attention, goddammit.
Breaking important news. The Supreme Court, in a vote of 6-3, just overturned the Ninth Circuit injunction and cleared the way for roving immigration patrols around the entire United States. Agents can now stop people based on their skin color, what language they're speaking, or even where they work, without specific, individualized suspicion that they are undocumented immigrants. This case was brought by a U.S. citizen. He had brown skin. He was stopped by immigration, showed his driver's license, said he was a U.S. citizen. They asked what hospital he was born in, and he did not know. They then slammed him to the side of a wall, handcuffed him for 20 minutes until they realized, in fact, he was a U.S. citizen. This is exactly what the Fourth Amendment is supposed to protect us against: unlawful search and seizure. The lower courts found a mountain of evidence that this violated our constitutional rights. The Supreme Court seems to keep protecting Donald Trump and his administration. For nearly 50 years, the law was very clear. In U.S. v. Bergoni Ponce, decided in 1975, the court ruled that roving patrols cannot stop people just because they suspect they're Mexican. They need something more. Now that case is apparently overturned. Now, this is not the last word on roving immigration patrols. All the Supreme Court did was stop the injunction and allowing Department of Homeland Security to continue roving patrols while this case goes through the courts, which may take 1, 2, or 3 more years. But we already know which side the Supreme Court is leaning to.
Supreme Court is allowing ICE to racially profile you. Obviously, not everybody, but if you're brown, your race, ethnicity, if you speak Spanish, based off your occupation and based off your proximity to areas where there might be undocumented immigrants, like Home Depot, for example, that's enough reasonable suspicion. Any of those 4. And what is actually insane is that all of those are assumptions, right? Assumptions that people will make about you and your citizenship status. But assumptions are not factual, right? They're not like you don't have any concrete evidence. They're kind of more like biases. And when you allow law enforcement to act off of their biases, I mean, that just does not sound right. That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
I fear that today marks the furthest we've entered into Nazi Germany in the Orange Turd second administration. And I feel like not enough people are talking about it on this app. And it's extremely concerning to me for 2 reasons. But in case you haven't heard, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 today, saying that you can, in fact, stop anybody and temporarily detain them for having brown skin, for speaking Spanish, for looking like they're Latino at a car wash, or for basically any reason you want. You can temporarily detain them while you figure out if they're legal or not. That's terrifying. That means people can be snatched off the streets. And what makes it really concerning is that originally this ruling was said to be unconstitutional by several lower level judges and lower level courts in California. However, it was appealed up to the Supreme Court and ultimately reversed. And as of now, it is okay to detain people that way. I know that this is not a full decision. I know that they still have to provide a full decision on it, but based on how they voted today, it's very likely they are going to uphold this. I'm not a lawyer. I do encourage you to go watch someone like Rachel Cohen's video on this, because she is a lawyer and she knows a lot more about like the logistics, legal stuff about it than I do. And then I think the second thing that really concerns me about this is I think it sets a precedence for all of the wins we have had against the Trump administration in lower level courts, because I think it sets the precedence that if they were able to do that for this particular case, right, bring it all the way up until it reached the Supreme Court, and then the extremely MAGA-based Supreme Court ruled in his favor, is that going to keep happening? And that's extremely concerning to me, because I think one of the most important things that have happened during his second administration is these small court victories we've had here and there. And if they ultimately are not going to be upheld, then I don't know what else we have. So yeah, we can pull people off the street from being brown now, and any lower court decision probably can just be overturned by the Supreme Court. So yeah, things are really going well today.
Guys, you've heard what people had to say, and I've always been saying black people want everybody, and now it doesn't even matter if you voted or not. Now they're making laws that are affecting everybody. So whoever even voted for Trump thinking he's going to do better for them, now they know they can just be picked up from wherever because they are brown. This includes Africans, this includes Asians, this includes Latinos, this includes everybody that is not a pan person, because I don't think white-looking people are ever going to be targeted. Like how? I mean, they will be looking white. So those that do not look white expect to be stopped at any point, coming to your jobs, coming to your houses, coming to, wherever that you are, and seeing as you're suspect. So yeah, here we are. Everybody's like, this administration is really effed up. And whoever comes out and is like, oh, I'm sorry, I voted for Trump, really, it doesn't really matter anymore, because your vote is the reason why a lot of people are in tears. A lot of people are scared to go out. Children are going to be separated from families. It's insane. But the thing remains that black people did their job by warning people on who to vote for, but they were, they were betrayed. Let's say it as it is. So whoever voted for this administration and is a person of color, I guess when they go back in their homes, they just burst into tears, because you can't make this up now. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are, whether you're legal or not, you will still be harassed by the ICE agents until they figure out that you deserve to be in America. So it doesn't matter if you voted or not. Whoever voted, exactly, this is what you voted for. It's sad that people are in tears, people are, scared, as I said, but hey, what to do? This is what the government wants. This is what the administration is doing. I mean, the president is actually controlling the judiciary, which is insane to me. Like, what? It's like, he's above everything, and that's wild. That's really stepping on people's freedom. But that's America today. That's America today. Guys, that is it for me in today's video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye.